Morning, everyone. Happy first day of working from home and you guys learning from home. For grade 8 today, we will be completing your life science test. So you should have, give me a minute, your life science test that was either given to you yesterday or it was already in your folder. So question 1 asks you to name one trait in which humans differ and list at least 2 variations of that trait. So just remember everything we talked about with genes and genetics and, getting your traits from your parents, okay? I'm going to read each question, and if you have questions, excuse me, you can message me, email me, or just comment on the Google Classroom. Okay, question 2 says, and you can play and pause this if you need to. That way, if I'm going too fast, you can pause it and then hit, play. Kiyoshi and Raiden are brothers. Both of their parents have brown eyes. Kiyoshi also has brown eyes, but Raiden's eyes are gray. Which of the following explains why the brothers have a different eye color? You're going to put your answer choice on the line. Answer choice A. Parents who both have brown eyes always have at least one offspring with gray eyes. B. Offspring from the same parents always inherit the same traits. C. Sometimes an offspring can show a variation of a trait that neither parent has. Or D. Eye color is not an inherited trait. So you're going to pick your answer. Question 3. Katrin and Fiona are identical twin girls. We learned that this means they have the same DNA that carries the same set of instructions for traits. Examine the chart of the girls' characteristics. So, bear with me. Oh boy. All right, so there's our chart of the 2 girls and their characteristics. So we could see they have the same height, same eye color, same dimples, but there's 2 characteristics that are different. Okay, so that you're just going to interpret and use on the next page for these questions. Question 4, if they are identical twins, explain why they are not exactly alike. Okay, the next one you have a pedigree. Remember, pedigree is kind of like a family tree. Okay, and I'll post a picture of this test, or I'll link this test to the website in case you were absent and did not get it. Question 5 asked you to examine the pedigree above. Which of the following statements best fits the data? A. 2 parents with widow's peaks only have widow's peak children. B. 2 parents with no widow's peak only have children with no widow's peak. C. If parents do not match on the widow's peak trait, the children will have no widow's peak. If parents do not match on the trait, letter D, the children will all have widow's peak. Remember, widow's peak is kind of like the outline of your forehead, but that really doesn't matter because you're just looking at the pedigree anyway. Number 6, Felicia, Maria, and Louis are siblings. Felicia is the oldest and Louis is the youngest. Maria is the middle. I was the baby. I have 2 older sisters. How much of their genetic information will they have in common? A, they all have exactly the same information because they have the same mother and father. B, Maria and Felicia share information, but not Louis. C, they have no genetic information in common because they are not triplets. D, they share about 50% of their genetics information with each other, with each of the other siblings. So that was number 6. Number 7 asked you to explain why you picked the answer that you did in number 6. It says explain your reason for choosing the answer you did for question 6. Number 8, cystic fibrosis, CF, is one of the most common inherited single gene disorders in Caucasians. Caucasians are white people. Jesse has cystic fibrosis. Examine his family pedigree. Use what you learned about dominant and recessive alleles, alleles mean genes, to explain why Jesse has cystic fibrosis when neither of his parents do. So again, here's your pedigree. Okay, so that was question 8. Question 9 asks you to use the information from question 8. And what would the genotype of Jesse and his, what's the genotypes for Jesse and his parents? So having no cystic fibrosis, and it says it on here, is a capital G. Having cystic fibrosis is a lowercase g. And then you have the family members, Jesse's father, Jesse's mother, and Jesse. Okay, so on your study guide, we covered this. So if you need to, recall that on your study guide. Question 13. Tom and Jerry wanted to find out what the average arm length was for kitty cats are here. For students in the 3 8th grade classes, oh boy, in their school. The data table below shows the results in the graph area. In the graph area below, create a histogram that represents the data. Remember, you have to determine the size of your bins. Bins are like your groupings, okay? So you have the data here, and then it asks you to create the histogram using the data above, then use it to answer the following question. Looking at the histogram you created above, what is the average arm span range of all the 8th grade students? So you can, if you need to, you can use this space down here to create your histogram. That's one thing I forgot to give you was graph paper. If you want to create it digitally somehow and share it with me, you can. But again, if you just want to use this paper or if you just have blank paper, you can use that to create your histogram, aka bar graph. All right, the last 2 questions are open-endeds on the back. 15, explain what happened with the finches in the Galapagos Islands. I'll put the website up on Google Classroom in a little bit, so if you need to review that, you can. And then how does the environment affect traits? Okay, so those were the last 2 questions. All of that was on your study guide. So this is your main assignment for today. If you need more time, take more time tomorrow, and then we'll go from there. If you finish this, or I know some of the classes started it yesterday in class, if you finish it, work on your Earth Day poster. Remember, if you can, take a picture of it and share it with me. If not, hold on to it until we return. All else fails, you have a current event due on the 27th, so you can work on that. Okay? So day 1, good luck. If you have questions, penglish@vineland.org, or just comment on Google Classroom. All right, guys? I hope you're waking up and somewhat okay with this whole situation. I know I got us up and running, and I have areas set for me, areas set for my son Craig, and I think we're going to do some lab experiments later on today, so that way we'll make it interesting. I'm going to post a question every day for you to answer, so I know you're out there. I don't want you to take too many days off. So it just might be something quirky, like what's your favorite animal, what's your favorite color, why, you know, just so I know that you guys are participating and that you're attending my classroom. Okay, I will, I don't know exactly what yet, but for those that have good attendance and reply to all of my questions, there will be some kind of incentive that I'll give you when we return. Okay, so happy Tuesday, guys. Make it a terrific Tuesday, and I will see you tomorrow.